In previous videos, we saw how to find the circumference and area of a circle, and we saw where the formulas for those values come from. So now that we know them, we're gonna practice solving some problems. The first thing I want to point out is that on the screen I have the two formulas, one for circumference, C equals pi times d, or circumference equals pi times diameter, and then the area formula, area A equals pi times r squared, or area equals pi times the radius squared. So those are important formulas for you to know. Also, I want to point out that we're going to use 3.14 for our approximation for the number pi. Remember that pi is a number, and the decimal points of pi go on and on and on forever, but we're going to use an approximation that's good enough for us, 3.14 for the number pi. And we're also going to talk about when it says solve for the exact value or solve in terms of pi. What does that mean as well? So let's start by solving for the circumference of this circle that I have here. I have a circle and I'm saying that my radius is 14 kilometers. So we know that R is going to equal 14 kilometers. We want to find our circumference. Now, my circumference formula I have here is in terms of d, or diameter, but I know that the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. So that's how I'm going to solve this problem. So for this circle, circumference is equal to pi times 14 kilometers times 2 in this case. Or I could just do it up here. Diameter is equal to 2 times 14 kilometers. So our diameter is equal to 28 kilometers. So I could just write it as circumference is equal to pi times 28 kilometers. Now, if I wanted to leave it in terms of pi, I would just say 28 pi kilometers is my circumference. But I could get out my handy dandy calculator, and as I said, I could say that 3.14 is the same as pi. So I could say 3.14 times 28 kilometers. And put that into my calculator, and I get a final value of 87.92 kilometers. So I could say, in terms of pi, my exact value is 28 times pi, or 28 pi kilometers, or I could put in my value for 3.14 and say 87.92 kilometers is my circumference. Two different ways. So now let's find the area. So here I have my area formula. Area is pi times the radius squared. So times 14 kilometers squared. And I'm writing it like that. I'm keeping my units with my number, because I want you to remember that area is always in square units. So remember that. So here I could say pi times, let's see, 14 squared is 196. So pi times 196 kilometers squared is going to give me my area. So if I wanted to leave it in terms of pi, as we sometimes say, I would say 196 pi times pi kilometers squared. So that's one way to say the answer. Or I could keep going and I could plug in my 3.14 times my 196 kilometers squared. And let's see what I get for that. I end up with 615.44 kilometers squared is another way to say my area for this circle.